Greeks seem to have thought that crocodile dung from the Nile River worked wonders.
Oh, yeah.
Some strange things they did would include taking huge baths in crocodile dung for the
huge baths of shit. Just a big pool of crocodile shit. Just submerge your body in it. Skitten wants to watch something about goats. And right now I'm petitioning not to. So we're gonna do craziest things the Greeks did because I like the Greeks as an entire civilization. I think they were fascinating and gross people.
Gross?
Fascinating and gross, yeah, the Greeks.
The Greeks?
The Greeks.
I don't think the Greeks were gross.
You don't think the Greeks were gross?
No.
Well, we're gonna watch this video, and if there's nothing in it that proves to you they're gross, we're gonna look up some more shit that will prove to you.
Why would you think the Greeks are gross?
The Greeks, man, the Greeks were fucking savages, dude. Which is funny because they have this whole thing against the barbarians, like they hated that idea, but they were extremely barbaric.
By our standards.
You goddamn right, by our standards. What other fucking standards could I be talking about? I hate when people say that. Well, that's by your standards. What other standards do exist for me other than my own?
Okay, but we can't.
So I button up my shirt.
We can't say that they're barbaric because back then they weren't considered. I can say they're barbaric because they're barbarians. Okay, but back then they weren't barbaric.
What the fuck does that have to do with right now, bitch? If a Greek came up to you right now, murdered your whole family, and skinned your baby, you'd be like, that man is a barbarian.
Well, to be fair, if like...
You fucking fake ass internet intellectuals. Shut the fuck up.
Look,
shut up.
Look, I'm just gonna play devil's advocate here.
I think you should just... I was gonna say play with yourself, but that's not really a very good comeback. Which is why I stopped.
Man, I look good. I just look...
We don't have time for this. And you have an in and out shirt on.
I look so nice. Look how beautiful I am.
Thanks. Are we done? Can we get into this, please?
Do you see how beautiful?
Stop wasting my time. You know what? We were worried. We'll put. You know, I'll make sure to put this up after we do the Burlese video. You remember when the cat was bothering us the entire video?
Yes. Oh.
It's not weed, by the way. Keep asking.
Yeah. So I like came home one day.
Yeah.
And I just saw that on the desk and I was like instantly upset. And he was like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I just don't know why you have that in here. And then I figured out like immediately that it was catnip and not weed.
Yeah, I didn't even say what it was. It just said what it wasn't. It's catnip. The cat was like bothering us the entire video. I was like, what the fuck is the problem? I put the catnip on the desk for some random reason. That explains a lot.
Just to torture the cat.
Okay.
But anyway.
Let's get into it, man. We're not allowed to talk about this video.
You're not letting them peep my glow.
Alright, let's do it.
But occasionally, the Greeks did some weird stuff. Here are craziest things the ancient Greeks did. Number 14, clever advertisement.
Okay.
Finding clever ways to advertise your company is always a promising way to bring in new clientele. The ancient Greeks had some interesting ways as well. Prostitution did exist in these times, and maybe some working girls could learn a few new things from them. They apparently had sandals that would leave a footprint into the ground that left a message saying, "Follow me," as they walked.
So the joke there is to have prostitutes wear sandals that says "Follow me" on it?
Yes.
That was your...
Lonely Greek guys would follow the footprints to see where they lead. It almost was like tracking down a wild bear or something. Hopefully these guys weren't married, or they might get some kind of punishment we're about to mention later on. This kind of sounds like something undercover Greek police might have used.
Hashtag
Number 13,
yeah.
Eyebrow growing.
If you couldn't tell, there are things.
Eyebrow growing.
Eyebrow growing. You think your shit is new doing your eyebrows?
Does your friend have an unsightly unibrow? Are those hairs between the eyes that need plucking finally connecting into one massive caterpillar-like eyebrow? And you're kind of thinking it looks nice in a way? Well, you're not alone. The ancient Greeks found the unibrow to be a sign of intelligence and a great sign of beauty, especially women.
Now?
Could this have something to do with why Mediterranean women might seem to be a little bit hairier, you could say? What was even stranger about this fascination was that women didn't have a unibrow. They would simply stencil one in with makeup. Number 12, spike collars. Have you ever wondered why dogs wear spike collars? If you think about it, this sort of seems like a strange practice, and we really couldn't see any other reason for them to wear those kind of colors, right? The Greeks...
Does it sound like he's saying colors to you too? Okay, I was about to say...
It sounds like he's saying spy collars.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Spy collars,
I was like, a spy collar?
What are spy collars?
A spiked collar.
Actually the ones who invented the spiked dog collar. This was a creation by shepherds in an attempt to keep their dogs safe from bloodthirsty predators. The spikes could penetrate through the mouth of the wolf, or at least harm them enough to keep them away from the dog's throat.
Wait, did people really not know what spiked collars were for? You just thought it was just a fashion statement?
I mean,
those Greeks, they were real edgy.
That's not why I wear spiked collars.
Well,
so.
Obviously it's to prevent attack from vampires. They go up to bite you on the neck, they're the ones that get bit. Get your spike collar today, or spy collar. Get your spy collars today.
Get your spy colors today.
Your spy collars. Yeah, that's what spy collars are for.
For a second I was like really confused because I thought he was trying to say sparklers and failing.
Ah.
And I just didn't understand.
Sparklers.
Number 11. Cheaters have to pay. Cheating nowadays in modern times is certainly frowned upon in many cultures, and while there's
the picture of a man who is cheating.
Don't do it, fam.
I see you cheating there.
certainly may be some consequences to those sneaky actions, no consequences sound less appealing than this one from the ancient Greeks. First of all, ancient Greeks felt as though adultery was worse than rape, so severe punishment could be put in place. The punishment for the males would include forceful insertion of a radish root into their anus.
Take that quote to your history class next week. I like how he said forcefully, like in some instances you wouldn't have to force a radish root in somebody's ass. Like, when is there ever a situation where that's not forceful?
I mean, people are into weird things.
Radish roots. Specifically the root of a radish.
Not to play devil's advocate.
Yeah, okay, Fuck that guy. That guy, you're out there, fuck you, man. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. You're necessary for the internet ecosystem to thrive, right? That guy's got to exist.
Ancient Greeks felt as though adultery was worse than rape, so severe punishment could be put in place. The punishment for the males would include forceful insertion of a radish root into their anus, and it could cause death from internal hemorrhaging. Other punishments could include public humiliation, such as being placed on a donkey completely nude and paraded around the city for their new lover. Other cases state that they were tied onto a donkey and banished from the city, forced to start a new life away from everyone else again.
Good.
Damn.
Number 10. Uncleanly cleanser. The use of dung for different reasons in ancient Greek times was much more widely accepted for various purposes, which might shock you. There's quite a few strange beauty treatments out there, and we're sure the ancient Greeks would find some things we do to be strange, such as injecting ourselves with silicone. There are many animal products that might work well on your skin, but the ancient Greeks seem to have thought that crocodile dung from the Nile River worked wonders. Some strange things they did would include taking huge baths in crocodile dung for the
huge baths of shit. Just a big pool of crocodile shit. Just submerge your body in it.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy? The Greek islands are nowhere near the Nile River. They traveled. They literally traveled to go get the shit, to bring back the shit to the Greek islands so that people could bathe in it. Oh.
This is good.
Oh my god.
This is real good.
Secret ingredient. Mixed with mud. They would also use it for beauty masks, but we can imagine that couldn't smell all that great. Another strange use for this was contraceptive. Apparently it did work, but at what cost? We imagine the ancient Greek baths are a little bit cleaner, especially if you head to places like Santorini.
Contraceptive. With shit. I don't believe that one. I don't even believe it. Shit. That's probably not gonna come up, is it?
Crocodile dung.
Okay. See that face? What do you think we found? History of birth control. Crocodile dung, honey, sodium. It is inserted into the vagina to block and kill sperm. A concoction of crocodile dung, honey, and sodium carbonate. And they mix it together and insert it inside of another person
I've never crossed my legs so hard in my life.
that you are supposed to have sex with now.
I'm assuming that there was no going on.
Oh, we can surely pray. Well, ChavevzzSlovakia, that has been the Just end the video off of that.
That's disgusting.
Wow.
That is actually so fucking gross.
Wow. that
Number
was filthy.
9, the apple heave. So what do you do if
Oh,
you see
God,
a woman
my
you
eyes.
like? Just smile and wave?
Smile and wave, boys. Just smile and wave.
You have me back up just so you can say that?
Do you know what that's from?
What do you mean, where's that from? What is it?
It's the penguins from Madagascar.
Hey, it is the penguins from Madagascar.
Sure, that would seem normal to us, but in ancient Greek times, the best way to get someone's numerals would be to throw an apple at her. This practice stems from the ancient Greek myth. Apparently, when the single goddess Eris was not invited to a wedding, she then threw an apple at the party that said, "To the most beautiful one at the wedding." 3 other goddesses found the
we know
apple,
the story.
including the goddess of love.
No, they don't. The internet does not know this story.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
I
y'all,
deal with it constantly.
the story is so... It's how the Trojan War started.
Don't even, just let it.
I don't understand. How do you...
Nobody knows.
What?
There's like 6 people out there that know. And that's it. It's just me, 6 other guys, and everyone else is just like, they just think I'm some weirdo. And I just accept it. I embrace it at this point. I'd never get through any vids. I'd just spend every vid explaining
Just
why
go
I...
ahead.
Yeah, okay.
You made my heart
I
sad.
know, I'm sorry.
Goddesses found the apple, including
okay.
the goddess of love, Aphrodite. She held on to the apple, and she used it to help the beautiful Helen of Troy fall in love with Paris of Troy. Hopefully this didn't get too intense, and women of Greece weren't getting nailed in the face with apples all the time.
Ruining the
Number
lives
eight.
of
It's a whole
millions.
new meaning to apple bottom jeans.
Does it, though? Does it really? I don't think it does. I don't think it does.
Gives
Kitty.
a whole new meaning to "you are the apple of my eye."
I don't think it. Well, maybe it does.
Shaming.
Maybe you're right.
In every culture, body standards are a little bit different, and although we see those Greek statues all chiseled away with 6-pack abs, those were normally just athletes or something. In reality, though, having a belly was a sign of wealth, that you could afford enough food, and it wasn't really frowned upon. This was especially true for men, and it was seen as a symbol of power and greatness. That is used for energy reserves, and in ancient times, during the case of a famine, these people were more likely to survive. Other Greek physicians made it unfashionable when they began to notice health risks linked to obesity and a lack of libido.
Yeah.
Number
They
7.
but women too. Big women were like really popular in ancient times. Yeah, they liked them.
There still are in other cultures.
What do you mean other cultures? Have you seen May from Overwatch?
Other
May
than,
is Bay.
other than Western.
I am the only culture. All is my culture.
Okay, America.
7. Guaranteed roughness. You might complain from time to time if you end up having to use toilet paper that was a bit rough or not of the quality of Charmin. In modern times, we're quite spoiled with the luxury of getting that extra fresh and clean feeling back there with 2-ply softness.
Back there.
But as we know, hygiene wasn't always a priority, and toilet paper just simply didn't exist back then. They had a couple choices they could go with. One included a sponge that was attached to a stick, like we see in this photo. This was normally an option for the wealthier classes, and not
Sponge
But,
connected to a stick,
but how did you clean it in between uses?
and they would share the sponge.
But
It's a community sponge.
how did they clean it
I mean, they have little things you can.
in
Like,
between uses?
yeah, they have little.
Not always available
they
everywhere.
had sewage systems. Just kind of rub it off. A community sponge. It's everybody's sponge.
So they went old-fashioned style and used some round stones, like you see in this photo, that were still smooth, but probably rough for our standards. Most people won't even use the cheaper brands, let alone use a stone. Number 6. Poison.
Shit stones. Shit rocks.
But then what did you do with them afterwards? That's my question. What do you do with all these things after you use them? What do you do?
Is that really what you're worried about right now? You have to use a rock to wipe your ass. That doesn't just stop you in your tracks there.
Well, in my
You're willing to go in as long as the rock is sanitary.
Exactly. I mean, if I pick up the rock and there's somebody else's shit on it, then that's kind of more problematic.
We're done. I'm done with you.
I'm just
We're not
saying, or was
talking
it
about
like
getting drinks
like
at your
a
local
dirty
bar.
rock
Oh no.
pile and a
The
clean
Greeks
rock
were one of the
pile?
few civilizations to coerce criminals into killing themselves, normally by means of poisoning. Normally the other option wasn't too pretty. As a sign of respect to aristocrats such as Socrates, who were sentenced to death, the victims would either get the choice of drinking hemlock tea or suffer the consequences that were much messier. Socrates is certainly the most famous example of this after he was accused of corrupting Athens' youth by his philosophies.
Which he kind of did.
Ultimately, he had the choice
So-
to escape from Athens, but there is much debate on why he chose to stay and suffer the fate of hemlock tea. Some believe he ultimately did this to show his dedication to his beliefs. Well, good job, Socrates. Now everyone has to learn about you in history class. Number
You definitely
5,
would have had
the
to do that
Brazen
anyways,
Bull.
though.
Maybe one reason why Socrates was okay with the choice of poison is because there were devices out there such as the Brazen Bull.
You ever heard of the Brazen?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bull was a horrifying torture device that was made out of bronze. Victims were put inside the hollow bronze
This
bull
shit is
statue
brutal.
and basically roasted to death. The bull had a system of pipes and noise chambers that would make the screams of unfortunate people sound like angry bulls. Little
Yep.
did the inventor know that he would be the first one to get to test out the Brazen Bull. Perillos was a bronze sculptor who came up with the idea to impress a tyrannical leader, Phalaris. When he showed Phalaris the torture device, he told Perillos to get in the bull and scream so they could see if it really made the noise or not. When he got in there, Phalaris locked him in there and set a flame
set his
under the
ass on
bull.
fire.
It's unclear whether he was in there or not until he died, but he was thrown off a cliff shortly after either way. Number 4, sweat medicine. Athletes, especially during the Olympics of ancient Greece, were often looked up to by nearly everyone at that time. Athletes would often oil up with olive oil before competing in different
Oil up,
competitions
baby.
because it was seen as beneficial to their skin. So they would run around, get sweaty, get a little bit dirty, and who knows what. Needless to say, they get a little bit greasy. In the end, the grease was scraped off of them and into a jar where they would collect it. You'd probably imagine that no one would want to use this concoction of olive oil, dirt, sweat, and dead skin cells, right? Wrong. This was known as gloriose, and it was supposed to be used for muscle aches as a medicine if ingested. This actually has nothing beneficial about it at all, except maybe the olive oil, but we're sure there were more sanitary ways to ingest this.
Yep. You want to continue with this, or you done? Or you want to keep going, or? Let's push
Number
through to
3,
the end.
sneezing your problems away.
ChavevzzSlovakia.
Women these days might go through a lot to not get pregnant. Some might forget to take the pill or inject themselves every 3 months or whatever they do. But ancient Greeks had a way that they thought was pretty easy to keep themselves from having an unwanted pregnancy. What could this be, you might ask? Apparently, they thought if a woman squatted and sneezed, this would do the trick. It's unclear exactly
I
why
did
they
not know
thought
that.
this, but they felt as though it was important to get rid of
did not know
unwanted
that.
fluids in the body, such as snot. In modern times, we know this is completely ridiculous, but the respected Greek physician Cyrus thought that this was actually a better alternative than crocodile dung. For anyone thinking about actually trying this, you probably need to see a different kind of doctor.
Whew.
Number 2, horsing around. You might be familiar with the legends of the Trojan horse, mentioned in Homer's Iliad, or even the film with Brad Pitt, titled Troy. However, this city truly does exist, and it's located in northwestern Turkey. The Greeks played one of the best pranks in history, and this was not just a prank, bro, but one of the best cases of deception in military history. Some of the remains of this legendary setting are still intact, such as the portions of this wall. However, due to its strategic location, it's also been urbanized by other civilizations such as the Romans. The remarkable city was founded in 3500 BC and abandoned in 500 AD. In Greek mythology, a woman named Helen of Troy who lived here, who was rumored to be the most beautiful woman in the world. The war
Why'd
broke
they
out
use
when
that
Helen,
picture?
who was
I have
married to
no
the king of
idea.
Sparta, was abducted by the prince of Troy named Paris. After a 10-year
wasn't
siege of
abducted, she was
Troy,
a hoe.
the Greek army came up with a plot to get inside the walls by constructing a large wooden horse as a peace offering. Little did the Trojans know that inside the horse were Greek soldiers, so be careful
Everybody
of
knows
Greeks
this
offering
part.
gifts.
I mean, everybody knows the basics, right?
And number 1, zombie preparation.
What?
How long ago did people actually believe in zombies? Well, it turns out much longer ago than you think. Due to this discovery, it's believed that even ancient Greeks feared zombies rising from the dead and possibly
Right?
feasting on brains. Archaeologists claim to have unearthed a tomb from an ancient Greek colony in Sicily, nearby Camarina, that used rocks to pin people to their tombs. Greeks often exhibited necrophobia or fear of the dead, especially that one day they would come back alive and prey on unsuspecting victims. They took this to a whole nother level. This illustration of what's known as Tomb 653 shows the body was weighted down with large pieces of amphora, which is placed on the face and the legs.
Aw,
Another
that's
skeleton
so
was found showing as much
sad.
as 5 rocks placed on top of the body in
He
order to
must
keep
have
it
been
from
a big
rising
ass
once again.
motherfucker. Damn. Putting rocks on your loved ones since.
I still don't see how that ranked crazier than the fucking crocodile dog.
I don't think it was in order. I think it was just a list of, you know.
I guess
Crocodile
you
dog
were
is pretty
right.
brutal though. Yeah.
The Greeks were gross.
Feels good to be right. But I'd rather be right about other things, more pleasant things than this.
This is not good. This is not a good video.
Doesn't-
I mean, like, it was a good video, but it was not a good video.
Good job, American Eye. The link for that's, of course, in the description down below. If you want to watch the original video, go ahead and click on that. Me and Skitten are going to go weep silently. And I'll see you guys in the next one, man. I think that's about it.
Peace out, ho biscuits.
See you later, guys. Call my people hoes.
Not hoes, ho biscuits. There's a difference.